I have a dream, opined Martin Luther King. He knew that he would not get to the mountaintop, but he had a dream that the day would come in America where children would be judged according to the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. That dream has steadily become a nightmare, and you could argue that it was always going to be that way. After all, the United States of America is a country founded upon the massacre, the ethnic cleansing of the indigenous population of the country, and supplemented by millions of slaves stolen from their homes and their land in Africa and taken in the holds of ships in chains, often by British slave traders. Much of the wealth of Britain at the time was built upon that slave trade, arguably the greatest crime in human history. So a country based upon a mountain of dead original Americans and the enslavement of millions of others was going to have to work very hard in order to erase, expunge those damned spots. But the truth is, they haven't worked very hard at all. And in many respects, not much has changed from the days when President Barack Obama's father could not have taken a leak in the same urinal as a white man, could not have eaten his lunch at the same lunch counter. The 1960s was a site of great struggle and great heroism. In the civil rights movement, in the equal rights movement, many great champions, heroes and heroines stood out. Rosa Parks, the woman who decided that she would no longer agree to sit at the back of the bus. And great leaders like Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X, and many others fought. Some died, including those last two, for the cause of equality, for the cause which seems hardly a revolutionary one, that whatever our color or creed, we are all God's children and must be treated equally. That has never happened, despite the changes, the defeat of the Confederacy in the American Civil War, the titular end of slavery, even the titular end of Jim Crow, the system of racial segregation and apartheid, which persisted legally into the 1960s in the United States. Slavery and institutionalized apartheid may have gone, but something like slavery, certainly a style and quality of life incomparable between different racial groups and communities in the United States, has persisted. And the Confederacy may have been defeated, but it turns out there are plenty of people still ready to wave their flag. Indeed, wave it in the face of the President of the United States, making hardly very difficult to discern political point. Hardly a week goes by without a black church being burned, without a young black man being gunned down, almost always unarmed, and sometimes, maybe often, in the back. Now that we have mobile telephone movie cameras, almost every one of us, we see these images in a way that we did not see the images of the Ku Klux Klan until it was too late. Strange fruit twisting in the breeze, hanging from the lynching trees. But nowadays, if you kill a black man, chances are somebody's going to capture it on video. It will sweep across the country and the people will rise. And that seems to me what's happening now in the United States, that the people have said, the black people and their allies have said, we're not going to take it anymore. Anxious white commentators are fearful of a race war. I would argue there already is a race war being perpetrated against black people in the United States, and not only in the United States. I'm sure with my audience of experts and these gifted amateurs. There'll be people who will say that Britain and other countries like Britain, perhaps on a smaller scale, have precisely the same problems.